We're going to hear from the champion in a moment. Now that Bernard has made most of my speech for me, I don't have much left to say. We really appreciate his class and his incredible effort tonight. But as he said, the torch has been passed. I have a couple of thoughts. One is just the moment I sat down, I realized the last time I sat in that chair, the great Arturo Gatti was sitting next to me in that one. And I can't think of anyone who it gives me more pleasure to say that he is the man sitting there now, the man who has taken his place. I think he's going to have a great history in this room, in this building, in this sport, and nothing makes me happier than to be able to introduce him to you. I learned a long time ago in this business that generally you get the outcome in these great fights, the big fights. You get the outcome that is least likely, the one nobody expected. And I think tonight, to watch Sergey Kovalev outbox a great boxer, to go in there with John David's game plan and literally put on a clinic on how to box against a great boxer is pitch a shutout. I don't think that's anything anybody would have expected. I do think that is the least likely outcome. We got it. We found out he can go 12 rounds. We found out that he can box with the very best in the world. And again, Bernard said it all. The title is in very good hands. It's going to stay there for a long, long time.
What was going through your mind in the first round knockdown? Did you think it was going to end early, or did you kind of know better knowing Bernard?
You know, I thought, whoa, this is nice, but yeah, I don't know. That was kind of the bookend to the Sergey going down in the first round last time.
Against Caparello.
So, yeah, don't jump to conclusions.
Were there any nervous moments for you during this fight?
No, that is the part that blows my mind. I wasn't nervous before the fight. I wasn't nervous during the fight. He just seemed to be so in control. And
you expected to have some nervous moments? You said it because it blew your mind that you didn't.
Yeah, because you would just seem to think I would get nervous. You know, that in an event of this magnitude, that there would be still a little bit of nerves. I was way more messed up before the Blake Caparello fight, worrying that this great opportunity was somehow going to get blown, because I had this unshakable confidence that he was going to do what he did tonight.
I know you had the unshakable confidence, but did you think that Bernard was going to have more moments than he ended up having? No. You expected the complete shutout drubbing that you got?
I really did.
Yeah.
I did.
Gotta believe.
And I'm not taking anything away from Bernard. I'm really not. I know, as I read the comments, everybody talking about why they were picking Bernard, I recognized that they were wrong. That Sergey can box, that Sergey can go 12 rounds, that the guy who was going to go into deep waters was going to be the 49-year-old man, not the young one. And he did. And you know what? There's a piece of me that's kind of happy that Bernard made it to the end, because somehow it's better that he was on his feet when it ended. But I never had any doubt at all that this was the right fight for Sergey. It's the same way we always felt chasing Mike Tyson with Evander Holyfield. Sometimes you just know this is the guy, and I just believed, and I'm happy I was right.
We've often seen fighters who have multiple title belts. It becomes a burden because of the number of mandatories that they have to make, as opposed to going to the money fights that they want. Is there a burden having these 3 belts now, including this mandatory defense potentially against Muhammad?
I think we'll find out. let's celebrate tonight, and then we'll worry about the burdens.
All right, I won't be the downer tonight.
Don't be the downer. We'll work it out. Whatever happens.
It will not about the title the next. It will be about the money. No?
Of course.
It's all about the money.
It's all about the money. Absolutely. Now it's time to make the money. You know, that's how you become a great fighter. It's how you build a legacy. You take the fights. You don't worry about the money. You do what you have to do. And once you get there, now it's time to get paid.
You expect to receive a call from Montreal Monday morning? 9 a.m.
I'll be talking to somebody in Montreal. I'm not sure which person it'll be.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 2 fighters in Montreal, so we'll see. I am interested to see how this story ends. We'll see where it goes next.
Thanks, Kathy.
Kathy, one question. Me personally, as you can see from my hat, I'm a Philadelphia fan, and I'll be the first to admit that I picked Bernard Hopkins to win. But
I won't hold it against you.
But the question I have now with Adonis Stevenson pretty much, you know, it's not official, but sewn up for April of 2015. Sergey Kovalev is very close to being undisputed champ, and from my opinion and what I've noticed from fans is they didn't expect for this to happen. So as far as his next bout is concerned, if Adonis Stevenson is sewed up and he's already basically, I'll be 100% honest, he's already basically ducked Kovalev, what may be next as far as 175 pounds is concerned?
Well, we're going to find out. I mean, he's got 3 belts. If somebody wants to be the champion in the division, they're going to have to fight him now. And that's kind of nice. That's the argument in favor of collecting the belts. You know, everybody can duck all they want. And I think Adonis has made himself completely irrelevant, to be perfectly honest. Somebody's going to beat him. In my view, he is a fringe contender who could lose to absolutely anyone. So I don't know that this is about Adonis Stevenson so much as it's about someday going after the WBC title, whoever holds it. We'll find out.
Kathy, how rewarding is this in all the, you know, for you personally, you're now at the top, you're the only, you know, you're the lead promoter at main events, and you have this guy. At any point in your career, how does this stand up to what's bigger than this?
It's pretty sweet, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, I remember times like when Holyfield beat Douglas, you know, where we felt like this, but it never was me. And I did have a moment tonight where it kind of hit me, like, wow, he's mine. I built that, and I'm really proud of it. And
you characterized back then what the makeup of your company was.
Well, it was my husband. It was my husband's company. You know, I worked with him. It was us. We were a team. It was his family. We were a team, and it was beautiful. But this is different. It's a different team, and it's still very gratifying to be. We were so certain, you know, if I could get a guy who has some ability, I know I can move him. I know I can get him a shot. I know I can get him where I want him to go. I always knew it. I'm just so grateful and blessed that Sergey walked in the door, because we can do that with others.
Before the fight, Oscar, at the press conference, he called you Kathy Diva, but he said that was out of respect because you're a woman in a man's world. What significance does that have now, and given the fight it took to get to this point, the lawsuit, and all that stuff?
You know, I don't know. This is going to sound terrible to a bunch of guys, but I don't think competing with men is as hard as people think it is. I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that it's hard. It's a hard business, whether you're a man or a woman. It's a really hard business. And when you have people like Sergey and Agus Klimas to work with, and trainers like John David Jackson, and this wonderful team, it makes it a lot easier. And my staff, which is spectacular. Everybody on it is spectacular. This has just been a pleasure. So I don't think it hasn't been hard. It's been charmed, and it's been really. It seems to me like everything has fallen into place. It's like it's meant to be. It's wonderful.
Kathy, this may seem a little far-fetched, but Oscar made some headlines late in this fight week talking about Bernard's desire to face Triple G, should he have won tonight. Is there any possibility that Kovalev and Triple G could meet at some type of a catchweight fight? And does any friendship that they have that you're aware of preclude a fight from that ever happening?
I don't think, if you look at the size of Sergey Kovalev, he's fighting a catchweight with anybody. If they want to fight him, they'll have to come up to his weight class. He's holding 3 titles in the light heavyweight division. He's light heavyweight. Having said that, I've been in this business a long time, and you can't ever say never. Is there going to be a day when Golovkin wants to challenge himself and move up to 75? If Sergey's still there, could it happen? I guess anything could happen. You know, 2 great champions should want to fight each other. We've certainly seen guys move up in weight to test their skills. It's a time-honored tradition in our sport. Who knows?
Well, Abel has made some pretty, boastful statements about Triple G's willingness to move down or up. And I think they've even included 175 in a couple of those conversations. So it sounds like a fight that possibly could happen.
Sounds like a good idea to me. We'll see. Maybe someday.
Thank you, Kathy.
Is there a fighter in your history that you compare this moment to other than Holyfield? Is there one fighter that you've had in your career that
Thank you, bro. Just